We are initiating a deep dive investigation into a document that governs the financial survival of 70 million Americans, yet remains a mystery to nearly every single one of them. We are talking about the Program Operations Manual System, or the POMS. This is the internal 20,000-page rulebook used by the Social Security Administration. It is a labyrinth of legalities, a fortress of fine print, and a minefield of if-then scenarios that can make the difference between a comfortable retirement and a life of poverty. But here is the headline that the mainstream media is ignoring. The human experts who were hired to guide you through this 20,000-page nightmare are in a state of total organizational collapse. According to shocking congressional testimony and internal whistleblower reports from former SSA managers, most notably the insights shared by experts like Dr. Ed Weir, the Social Security Administration is currently operating in a state of trauma. The agency is at its lowest staffing levels in nearly 3 decades. Meanwhile, the silver tsunami of retiring baby boomers has increased the workload by millions of cases. In the last year alone, the SSA lost over 7,000 of its most elite claims specialists. These were the veterans who knew the rulebook by heart. They have been replaced by a wall of automation, a 2-hour phone wait time, and a desperate, unproven transition toward artificial intelligence. The Commissioner of Social Security has confirmed that the agency is moving toward an AI-first model to process online applications. On paper, this is sold as efficiency. In reality, it is the death of human accountability. If an AI algorithm, which we know is prone to hallucinations, miscalculates your primary insurance amount or misses a year of your earnings from the 1990s, there is no longer a human at the local office with the time or the authority to sit with you and fix it. Today, we are spending the next 15 minutes exposing the 10 catastrophic mistakes that are leaving thousands of dollars on the table for the average American household. We are going to look at why your household income could drop by 50% overnight, why a teacher's pension could destroy their Social Security check, and how the stealth tax of 1984 is quietly robbing the middle class of their hard-earned money. This is the masterclass the government will never send you. If you want to protect your financial future, do not turn this video off. Every minute of this broadcast is worth a fortune to your family. Let's dive into the most common and most heartbreaking mistake in Social Security history, the survivor benefit trap. This is an issue of cold, hard arithmetic that most couples ignore until it is too late. Let's look the math that the SSA won't show you. Imagine a couple, Robert and Linda. Robert had a high-earning career and receives $2,800 a month. Linda worked part-time and raised their children, so her own benefit is $1,400. Together, their household income is $4,200. Most people believe that if Robert passes away, Linda keeps her $1,400 and also inherits Robert's $2,800. This is a complete lie. The 20,000-page manual is clear. A household can only keep one check, the higher of the two. The moment Robert passes, Linda's check is deleted. She is stepped up to Robert's $2,800. But the total household income drops from $4,200 to $2,800 instantly. That is a loss of $1,400 every month. Yet the property taxes on their home don't drop. Their insurance premiums don't drop. Their grocery bills stay the same. This is the survivor cliff. The mistake people make is not running survival probability math before they claim. If Robert claims at 62 to get his money back early, he is permanently locking Linda into a lower survivor check for life. If Robert waits until age 70, his check grows by 8% every year. By waiting, Robert isn't just getting more money for himself, he is buying Linda a permanent inflation-adjusted insurance policy. But the traumatized staff at the SSA is not legally required to tell you this. They are evaluated on speed, not on whether you get the maximum amount. You must treat the survivor math as your #1 priority. Now let's talk about the mistake that hits you every April. The Social Security Tax Trap. This is perhaps the most brilliant and cruel piece of legislation in modern American history. In 1983, a bipartisan commission decided that Social Security benefits should be taxed to help save the trust fund. They created income thresholds. If an individual makes over $25,000 or a couple makes over $32,000, they would pay federal income tax on up to 50% or 85% of their benefits. Here is the absolute insanity. Those numbers, $25,000 and $32,000, have never been adjusted for inflation, not once in 41 years. In 1984, $25,000 was a solid middle-class income. Today, in 2025, $25,000 is near the poverty line in many cities. Because of the massive COLA raises you have received over the last 3 years, millions of seniors have been pushed over these limits for the first time. The government is giving you a raise with the right hand and taking it back with the IRS's left hand. The mistake retirees make is the withholding error. They assume the SSA takes taxes out automatically. They do not. Unless you specifically file an IRS Form W-4V, you will receive your gross check. When you file your taxes next year, you will realize you owe the IRS $3,000 that you have already spent. We are seeing search volume for "Is my Social Security taxable hit?" breakout status today, because thousands of retirees just got their 1099 SSA forms and realized they are in the danger zone. You must calculate your combined income today. If you are over the 1984 limits, you need to adjust your withholdings immediately. There is a new crisis hitting the news that has the SSA and Congress in a heated battle right now, the overpayment nightmare. This is a mistake made by the government, but you are the one who pays for it. Recently, an investigation by 60 Minutes revealed that the SSA is sending repayment notices to millions of Americans. These letters say, "We realized we paid you too much money between 2017 and 2021. You now owe the government $24,000. We will be withholding your entire check until this is paid back." Imagine waking up to that letter. The error usually happens because of a data entry glitch at the SSA or a failure to process a change in your income 5 years ago. But because the staff is traumatized and understaffed, these errors sit in the system for years, growing into massive debts. When the system finally catches it, they don't care if you don't have the money. The mistake people make is compliance out of fear. If you get an overpayment letter, do not just accept it. You have the legal right to file for a waiver if the error was not your fault and if paying it back would cause financial hardship. You also have the right to an appeal. But because of the AI-first model, these appeals are getting lost in digital loops. You must call your local congressman's office if the SSA tries to claw back money for a mistake they made. We are tracking this story because it is a systemic failure of the 20,000-page manual. This mistake is for the heroes of our community, teachers, police officers, and state employees. It involves 2 acronyms that ruin retirements, WEP and GPO, the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. If you worked in a job where you had a state pension and did not pay Social Security taxes, but you also worked a side job where you did pay in, the government views you as a double dipper. The WEP rule can slash your personal check by over $500 a month. The GPO rule is worse. It can eliminate your ability to collect a survivor benefit from your spouse. We see teachers every day who worked 30 years thinking they would get their pension and Mary's survivor check, only to find out the GPO reduces that check to 0. The mistake is the estimate illusion. The estimated benefit you see online often does not include the WEP or GPO reduction. You see a number like $2,200 and you plan your life around it. But when you actually apply, the traumatized specialist applies the penalty, and your check comes back as $600. If you have a non-covered pension, you must use a specialized WEP calculator today. Do not wait until you retire to find out the government is going to penalize your service. Let's move to a mistake you can fix in the next 10 minutes, the earnings record error. Your Social Security check is the result of a math formula based on your highest 35 years of earnings. If the SSA has a 0 listed for even 1 year where you actually worked, your check is wrong for the rest of your life. How does this happen? In the 1980s and 90s, data was entered by hand. If a clerk mistyped 1 digit of your Social Security number, that year's income went into a suspense file and never hit your record. The mistake retirees make is blind trust. They assume the government is a perfect record keeper. It isn't. You need to log into ssa.gov today and download your earnings record. Check it against your old tax returns. Look for gaps. Even a missing year from 1995 where you only made $20,000 can reduce your monthly check by $50. Over a 30-year retirement, that is $18,000 you are donating to the government. Because the agency is moving toward AI processing, these historical errors are becoming permanent because the AI assumes the database is correct. Audit your own history. This is the psychological mistake. Every week there is a new headline, Social Security is running out of money. Because of this fear, 30% of Americans claim their benefits the second they turn 62. They want to get theirs before it's gone. The mistake is not understanding how the trust fund actually works. Even if the trust fund hits zero, the Social Security taxes being paid by workers today can still cover 77% to 80% of all benefits. Congress has never allowed a benefit cut in history because seniors are the most powerful voting bloc. The Commissioner of Social Security has confirmed that the agency is moving toward an AI-first model to process online applications. On paper, this is sold as efficiency. In reality, it is the death of human accountability. If an AI algorithm, which we know is prone to hallucinations, miscalculates your primary insurance amount or misses a year of your earnings from the 1990s, there is no longer a human at the local office with the time or the authority to sit with you and fix it. This is a mistake of missing information. If you were married for at least 10 years and have been divorced for at least 2 years, you might be entitled to benefits based on your ex-spouse's work record. Here is the part that shocks people. Your ex-spouse doesn't even have to know. It does not reduce their check, and it doesn't matter if they have remarried. Thousands of divorced women are living on $900 a month when they could be receiving $1,600 based on their ex-husband's higher salary. The SSA will not look this up for you. You must bring your marriage certificate and divorce decree to the office. If you were once married to a high earner for a decade, you are sitting on a hidden inheritance that the government is happy to keep if you don't ask for it. This mistake targets retirees who have a good year. It is called IRMA, the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. If you sold a house or took a large distribution from your IRA, the IRS reports that income to the SSA. 2 years later, you will receive a letter saying your Medicare Part B premium is no longer $174.70. Instead, it is $500 a month. The mistake people make is not realizing Medicare premiums are based on a 2-year look back. If you had an income spike in 2023, you will be penalized in 2025. However, the manual has a life-changing event clause. If your income dropped because you retired, you can appeal using Form SSA 44. Most people just pay the higher premium because they think the math is final. It isn't. You can save $3,000 a year just by filing one form, but the traumatized staff won't tell you unless you demand it. As we conclude this deep dive, we have to look at the new frontier. By 2026, the SSA expects to be a digital-first agency. The days of dropping by the local office to fix a mistake are over. The IDEME transition is creating a digital wall between you and your money. If you are tech-resistant, you are at high risk. Scammers know that seniors are confused by these new login rules. They are launching massive scam waves right now. If you get a text saying your 1099 SSA is locked, do not click the link. Here is your final 5-day action plan. Audit your earnings record today. Verify your ID.me login before January 31st. Run the survivor math tonight. File Form W4V if you are worried about the stealth tax. Subscribe to us. We are building a community of 100,000 retirees to demand that Congress updates the 1984 tax limits and fixes the traumatized staffing levels. Information is your only weapon against a 20,000-page manual. I'm your Amanda Brooks, and this has been the Master Expose on Social Security. We have 4 days left in January. Use them to secure your future. We'll see you in the next update.